What's going on? We're going to give everybody a couple minutes to join, and then we will get started.
Two.
All right, we're going to get started here. Small class today. Looks like everybody wants to know how to make money. Nobody wants to know how to manage it, right? So that's not a good sign, but that's okay. All right, so hopefully a lot of people will watch the recording. Okay, so we're starting a new series today. This is kind of off the realm of basically off the realm of more trading stuff, and this is more how to manage your money as a person, like day to day, right? Like, I know most of you guys are not full-time traders. If you are, that's great. But at the same time, you need to be able to manage your money. And so there we go. Pinky's in here. We got a few of the consistent ones in here. So like I said, I know that a lot of people weren't going to be as interested in this series, but I think it's really more important than trading itself, because if you can make money, but if you don't know how to save it, if you don't know how to invest it, if you don't know how to manage your money, you're not going to live a good life, right? And well, obviously you can live a good life, but like in terms of financially, if you don't know how to manage your money, you're going to be in a really big problem. So I don't know everything about this, but I have a guy that's owned over 100 different investment properties and has opened strip malls, has built homes and communities. He's going to be coming on and doing a guest speaking for you guys and talk to you about investment properties, how that works and how you should go about it, things like that, what you need to know, what you don't need to know. And then I'm going to have a couple loan officers come on here and talk about different mortgages that you can use to take advantage of like rates nowadays. Cause I know that a lot of people will go to like Rocket Mortgage or whatever, and they'll just screw you and not tell you the best things to do. And I work in the mortgage industry. I mean, I do some marketing for it. So I'm close with a lot of good loan officers who do their job well, and they can give you a lot of insight into like if you were going to buy a home, if you're looking for an investment property, if you're looking to buy a vacation home, what's the best thing to do now when rates are high, when inventory is low, things like that. So I have a couple loan officers that are going to be coming on here to teach you guys on that. Then I got a guy coming for investment properties, and then I'm going to have our tax strategist come on and talk about um, how to structure your taxes in the best way possible to maximize your profits, cut down on those capital gains, figure out the best way if you are losing money trading, how to best structure those as write-offs, things like that. And so he's going to come on and talk about that. And so yeah, we're going to be talking about all those different things. I'm going to teach about the budget, like how to budget your money. Because obviously if you make money trading or you make money doing something else, if you're not doing a budget every month, you don't know where it's going. And so the reason why we call this Managing You Inc. is because basically it's the idea that you need to be able to manage you, like treat yourself like you're a business, and like your trading is a business, right? Your job, even if you are an employee at some big corporate or company, you need to be able to manage yourself, right? And you need to treat yourself, your family's income, the money that's coming in, the money that's going out, you need to treat that like it is a business. And so that's what we're kind of learning today. And so I have this file here. I use this. I mean, mine doesn't look like this. I made it into a basic budget, right? And it's super easy to do. I do this at the end of every month. And so we'll kind of walk through it. I learned this from some very successful people that do this every month. I don't know any rich person that doesn't budget and doesn't do this every month. And they got rich from, I think it's 40, don't quote me on these numbers, but it's right around like a majority. Well, I don't need to give you the numbers. The majority of people that become rich are and if you look this up, it'll give you the exact percentage, but the majority of people that become rich are the ones that grind it out, and the ones that didn't get an inheritance or invent something or do these things. They just grinded it out by managing their money really well. And so that's what we want to learn about, and kind of get into that. So then you guys can start managing your money effectively and put money away in your 401k, put it in your retirement, put it in your savings, things like that, and just really step up your game and make your financial situation the best it possibly can, right? And I would say this is way more important than like, yeah, you can trade, but at the same time, I know that there's a 90% fail rate in trading, or it might be 70, somewhere around there. But either way, a majority of people fail trading. And I think that this will add a lot of value for even people that don't end up continuing to trade and decide they don't want to do it anymore. At least you'll be able to take this from us and help you grow into someone that manages their money really well and sets their kids up for success and set themselves up for success in retirement. Okay, but the first thing, so that's enough about what this whole series is about. But what this is, we're going to go over the budget real quick. It's super, super simple. Okay. And then we're going to get into like what it should just look like. And okay, so we're just I'm gonna walk you through this like a mock budget. And so we'll kind of just walk piece by piece. So first you have, obviously this is the name of the bill, right? So if you have your rent, electric, water, gas, I put general things in here. And what you can do is I'll post this in the chat too, so you guys can have it. I'll post it in the education tab. So then you guys can have this and use it. And use it for your own budget. So you could add literally anything in here. You're just putting the bills that you have every month. So there's car payment, there's like what's abnormal, like if you had a motorcycle payment, something like that, or you have a budget put away for your kids, or you got certain money that's being pulled out every month to go into your IRA, stuff like that. And we'll kind of just walk through each. So there's your rent, obviously, electric, water, gas, internet, car payment, credit card bills, gas, groceries, spending money, tithe, if you do tithe. And then savings is kind of the end piece. But basically how this is going to work is you're going to take you're going to put in your income. So this is the minimum for the amount owed, and we'll walk through each piece. And we're going to kind of go through like how you would fill it out. So let's say your income, just putting a number out there, right? Maybe you make 8,000 a month, right? And so we put that number in, we say, okay, that's the money. And let's say you got some money in Venmo, right? Maybe you got $250 in Venmo. Okay. So we put that in there, we plug it in as your extra, we plug in your income. And if you have more people that have income, right? Like let's say your significant other has income, you do the same budget, you would just plug it in here, add in their name, and then whatever their name is, income, and you add it in there. Let's say you got 2 jobs, you do the same thing. And so the first and foremost, the thing that you want to do is, let's say you get paid on August 1st, right? And so this might be something that you could start now, wouldn't hurt, it's the beginning of the month. But so basically, let's say you get paid August 1st. What you're going to do is you're not going to touch that money, and you're going to leave it in your checkings account until that following month. So August, September 1st. And you're going to use your August paychecks to pay for your September bills. So you're always going to be 1 month ahead. You're always going to have one extra month of money in your bank account. And so as checks come in throughout August, or they come on August 1st, whatever it is, you're not going to touch that until it gets to August or September 1st. And then you're going to start playing with the budget and paying for your stuff. And so if you like, let's say, okay, how would I do that now if I'm just getting started? You simply just pull the money out of your savings and then you get started that way. That's how I would go about doing it. That's how I started doing it. You pull the money out of your savings, like a month's worth, and you just go through it, right? Okay. So now we'll talk about this. So you got your income, you got this, you got your money that's coming in. And then now let's talk about, okay, let's say your rent is like $2,000. Okay. I'm just putting in random numbers, right? And so this section here is not what it actually costs, right? It's what is predicted for it to cost to live. So basically right now you're figuring out, okay, how much does it cost to live, right? So let's say your rent is $2,000 every month. Okay, let's say you say my electric is probably $100 every month, right? So somewhere around there, give or take. Be a little generous just so you have a good idea of what you're doing. Your water, maybe like $50, $50 a month. Your gas, like not like gas. I guess I should separate these, like maybe say car gas or whatever. But like your gas payment, right? Maybe it's like $125 a month. And I'm just giving out numbers. Let's say your internet, 75, and then maybe your car payment is like 500. Okay. And so let's say these are your bills for the month, right? And then this is a part where you kind of choose on your own. So credit card, you're just going to put your minimum payment in there. And this is kind of like a placeholder, right? Let's say your minimum payment is like $35 a month. Okay. On your credit card. And then let's say, then this is a part where you got to be generous with yourself. Also have a good estimate of what you're going to be doing. So like, let's say you're like, okay, gas, maybe I'll spend $300 a month in gas, like between you and your significant other. If it's just you, it'd probably be way less, but like, let's just use that for the example. Okay. And then we're going to go into your groceries. Okay. How much money am I going to spend on grocery every month? Maybe 500, somewhere around there, depending on how many people it is. Obviously, this is all tailored to you. And then let's say, okay, spending money. How much spending money do I want to get for like soda, beer, bubble gum, whatever you want to spend money on? If you want to buy something on Amazon, whatever. What is your budget for that month? Like, how much are you going to be okay with spending? Okay, let's say maybe it's like $1,000. Okay, and then tithe is going to be 10%. This is money that goes to the church, and I do this every month. So it's in the Bible. It says give 10% of what you earn, and so I stay consistent with that, and I always do that. If you don't feel obligated, obviously you can take it off your budget, whatever, if you don't believe in it, but that's something I do every month. So let's say it's usually 10%. This extra money that comes from Venmo is not your income, so you're not going to include that. So 10% of this would be 800. Okay, so you'd pull 800 from your from your check. Okay, so now you're looking at this. So you see this here where it says survival number. So it says 5485. Okay, so $5,485. That's how much you would end up spending in a month. So what you would do there is you would say, okay, so this, and you can see how you can add these in. Like this will equate all of these together. I put it together so it would do that. And so it adds up to what the cost is, right? Of what it will in total will be. And so right now it's $5,485. Okay, so that's how much you're going to end up spending per month. So the goal is, so how you would want to structure this for yourself is you want to have 3 to 6 months of this number in here. So like if we did some quick math, pull out a calculator real quick. Let me know if you can't see this, but you should be able to. Okay, so 5485, multiply that by 3, you'll want to have about $16,000 in your savings account. Just sitting there, money that's you're not touching. You can put it in a high yield savings account, whatever you want to do. I would recommend doing that just because you're making money from money sitting there. And then once you reach this goal of 16,455 in your account, that's when you want to start funneling money into your savings or into your like investment accounts. It's basically extra money. Like the reason why we call this a survival number is like, okay, if I lost my job and I didn't know what to do, I want to have 3 months worth of living expenses that I can use. And so you have something to live off of, right? So you'll take all this money, you'll take all this money that you have here, you'll multiply it by 3, and then you're going to take it, and that's going to be kind of your survival number. That's what you need per month to survive. And you can makeshift these numbers however you want and make sure they work for you. And then, yeah, that's what you want to do. So your first goal is to, like, in the whole scheme of this budget thing, you want to be able to take this money, multiply this total, multiply it by 3. It's your survival number. It's what you need to live every month and be okay, right? And so then you take a 16,455 and you build your savings account until you get to that point. Once you get to that point, then you can start taking the money and putting it in investments. Throw it into your Robinhood. Do this, do that, whatever you want, right? And you can do this as I would it's not it's at least 3. If you want to do 6, you can do 6. So 5, 4, 8, 5, multiply by 6. That's 6 months of savings that you want to have sitting in your savings account. All good, right? And I would say honestly, if this is spread out between like your 401k, your IRA, all good. Like you can still get to that money, you can get it out if you really need to. But the goal is to get the at least 3 months of this amount here. Once you figure out all these numbers, 3 months worth into your savings account. And then you can start taking that money and putting it into your savings or putting it into an investment accounts, invest it in real estate, whatever you want to do, right? And then you can start playing with the extra money once you build up your savings to where you want it to be. Okay, so now that we have this, okay, so this is what we do next, right? So let's say now this is where you actually put in the numbers of what you're really actually spending. So like total paid, this is like a mock. This is like what your survival number, what you expect to need every month. And then this is where you go in and put the actual numbers at the end of the month. You go in, you plug in the actual numbers. So like 2,000. Okay, your electric. Let's say your electric was $89. Let's say your gas ended up being $55. And then let's go to your gas ended up being let's just say it ended up being 125, right? Let's say your internet usually will stay the same, $75. Your car payment's going to stay the same. And then we go to credit card. You ended up spending, you got to make your minimum payment. And so what I usually will do is if you're disciplined enough, I will just put these 3 things under my credit card. So like I will just put all my money in my credit card for these 3 things. So like between gas, groceries, spending money. That way I can get points, that way I can build my credit, so on and so forth. If you want to make it more simple for yourself, maybe like, and you don't trust yourself using a credit card, go ahead and just put your gas on the credit card and then use your debit card for everything else. So that way you're still building your credit, but at the same time you're managing your money effectively. So like let's say your credit card, if you ended up using all 3 of these, right? Between this would be like $1,800 between these 3 things. Okay, let's say you ended up doing that and you go, okay, $1,800. Let's say you ended up only spending 1,530, right? Just picking random numbers. And then this one you wouldn't need to fill out because you use all this money for under here. And then you go to your tithe. Okay, so I got $800 in tithe. Okay, so now at this point, you're able to put the numbers together, and this. Let's get rid of this. So then we can actually do this how you're supposed to, right? Okay, so now you're at a point where, oh no. And we just want to take this, delete that. And so how we would do this is we would just take the total of this spent out, right? And so we would add it up, and then we put this total down at the bottom. This one, we can remove this here. Okay. So we would take 2,000 plus 89 plus 55 plus 120. You know what? I'll make this easier for you guys. Okay, so equals. And I'll make sure this is compatible with the Word. Okay, so now this is added up into here, right? Okay, so now your goal is you want this to add up, this number here, you want this to add up and equal this, your total income brought in. That's the kind of goal you want to have. And so when we'll add the savings in there. Okay, so now what you're going to do is you're going to take the difference between the two, and that's going to be the amount of money that you saved, right? So you're going to go 8,250 minus 5,174, and then you got $3,076. Okay, so then you're going to take $3,076. Okay, and now these totals equal up, so your money's in the right place. So now you have the saved column, and what you're going to do is you're just going to simply have this flow over into this one. So now you got your amount saved, right? So that's the amount saved that you did based on survival number, based on all of this. Okay. And then lastly, okay, so then I have this too, and this gives you a percent total of what you saved in the month. Ideally, what you want to do is 20%, 30% is really good. So the goal is 30%, but 20% is good as well. And so when you do that, this is how you want to add this up and have it equal. And you won't always save money. You won't always save money. It's not always going to happen like that, but you want to make sure you know where the money's coming in, where the money's going out, and so you can have control over your spending, right? And so that's that, right? Now we will go into, does this part make sense? Do you guys get this? Like how I just did all of this? Yes. Think so? Yes. Okay, cool. Cool. All right. So that makes sense. So that's how you want to go about doing this part. Okay. So then next, this is the last part of the budget. And once you get this down and have your survival number filled out, all you got to do is plug in these numbers and just go about it. And then now you're good. Okay. So now you want to go about putting your numbers in here. So accounts. So I just put in general like banking accounts, right? And so let's say we go through here. And so the goal is, right? So you're going to take all your money from from August 1st. Like let's say you get paid all your paychecks in August 1st or in August. You're going to hold those. And then on September 1st, you're going to let that money, or that's when you're going to use that money from August. You're going to take that money from August and you're going to pay your bills. And that's what, so technically what we should do is rename this and make it September 1st. So that's when you're going to pay it. And all you got to do is when you want to do it again, you just press duplicate, and then it's going to give you a blank one here. Name this October 1st. Boom, you're done. Okay. And then obviously you got to clear this out, but you get the idea. So that's what you do there. So then what we'll do is we'll just go through your checking. So you're taking all that money that was sitting throughout August, and then on September 1st, you're going to pay your bills. So once this all is all said and done, right? You paid your bills, you put your money in the savings, yada, yada, yada. Now this number you're checking should be zero because it should be at zero. You paid all your bills, you did all your stuff, you moved your money to your savings, and now it's all done. So your checking should be at zero. And then your money should be in your savings. So let's say you have your survival number in there, whatever that ended up being, it was around it was like 16,200 something, 250. Let's say you got that there. And then, so that's your savings. And then you have your investment account. This could be like Robinhood, Webull, whatever. If you have multiple accounts, just add them in here. Like that's what these empty spaces are for. You just add those other accounts in there. So let's say you got 10,000 in your savings account. Is that the right amount of zeros? I can't tell. Yeah, okay. So then we go your investment account. Let's say you got 3,000 in your investment account. And then your IRA, you got 5,000, whatever. 5,000 in your investment account. I don't know. And then so then basically what you're gonna do is then you'll come up with a total. So I'll add this in for you guys, so then it'll do it automatically. And then if you add other ones in, it'll add those too. So then you come out to a total. And now you have your total, you have $34,250 saved. And so that's kind of how you go about doing this. Does all that make sense? How you go about doing that? Because that's literally it. That's the whole thing. That's the start to finish. That's how you do the budget. That's how you manipulate, like put the whole thing together. Okay, cool. So it makes sense. All right. So that's exactly how you do it. Even if I don't know what stage of life you guys are in. I did this when I was in college, and I was a personal trainer, wasn't making a lot of money, whatever. And I would do this in college. I would do this, and I've been doing this for years now. And so helps you keep track of your money, lets you know how much money you have saved. It lets you know what you're at with your goal. And it just gives you a good idea of how you should have your life structured. It's like having a balance sheet for a business. You need to do that for yourself. He said, mind blown. Okay, good. I like to hear that. So yeah, this is how you go about managing your money. Yeah, you do get access. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to clear this whole thing off, and then I'm going to I'm either going to add a tab for all this stuff. I don't know how much more is going to be posted, but I'm going to add this in to either the OT education tab or yeah, I'll probably add it to the OT education tab. But yeah, this is how you'll go about managing your money. And so like you got to think about this in the same way as how
You have a video in your background playing.
I do. You talking to me? Okay. I don't know what that was then. Cool. But yeah, so this right here is specifically why I call it Managing You Inc. Because like Microsoft Incorporated. He said that was on my side. All good. But yeah, so like that's what this is. Like Managing You Inc. Where do you put your accounts like Robinhood? So that would be this investment account. So I put this word like the words investment account to just cover all bases. Like if you use Robinhood, if you use Webull, if you use Thinkorswim, you use Tradeovate, whatever you use, you put it right in here. And so like you can just change this name to Tradeovate, change this name to Robinhood, whatever you use. If you have multiple accounts, you can just add in Robinhood here and stuff like that. If you have multiple savings accounts, you can add those in. But yeah, so that's kind of how you'll want to go about doing this. And so the reason why you call it, or I'm calling this whole series Manage You Inc., is because you need to treat yourself like you're a business. And so that means even if you're an employee at some company, you need to track your numbers. You need to stay on top of what you're doing in a day-to-day basis, what you're spending, how you're spending, what you're spending on, and just keep good track of your money. And I know some of you guys, I know Mark is in college here, and so it might be a little more difficult to do it. But honestly, if you start now, you'll have it down really well when you're out of college, and you'll have a really good handle on your money. And you'll be able to retire a lot earlier if you do that. Wondering with children. With children, it'd be the same thing. Like, so let's say you got your spending money right. You could just throw in here. I'll add this. So every tab in here is going to be able to add this stuff in, right? And so like if you add anything in here, it'll add it up. Same thing with here. We'll do that here as well. So we'll have so anything you add in these tabs, you'll be able to do the same thing here. And so like, let's say you got say you have money that you want to put away for a college fund. You add in college fund there, and then you put your minimum amount. Say you want to put $250 away a month for it, right? And then you just put it in there, and then it's your expense. Let's say you wanted to put, like you want to just have a budget for your kids, right? Spending money for kids. You would just add it in here, add it really anywhere you want. All these are to add in. Like I have a motorcycle, so I add in motorcycle. And then I add stuff for that. Like if I get an oil change, whatever it is, I have money for that. Can you explain the 1 month ahead? Okay, so let's say you get paid August 1st. So the question is, can you explain the 1 month ahead expense a little more in depth? So basically what you want to do is, so if you were to start this now, you would take, so you would, let's say, well, okay, say you started on September 1st, just to make it simpler. You can do this the same thing for August, but what you would do is you would take all your bills from August. So let's say you get paid bi-weekly, you get paid on August 15th and then August 30th. You won't touch that money gets put into your checking account. You don't touch that money. You let it sit all throughout August. You just let the money that you made accumulate into your checking account. And so then on August 1st or September 1st, once you've gotten all your checks from August and it hits September 1st and it's time to pay bills and do all that good stuff, that's when you can use that money. You use everything that you made in August to pay your September bills. So then after you pay your bills in September, then you let all the money in September accumulate. So if you get paid on the 15th in September and you get paid on the 30th in September, you let all that money sit. And then on October 1st, you will pay, or you will use all of September's money that you made, all the checks that you made in September, you will take that and then use that on October 1st. So when you get yes. So when you get started, what you want to do is you want to figure out the survival number, pull that out of your savings, and then start on October or whenever it is, right? So you would take that money out and then pay your bills, do all that stuff, have your living expenses, and then and then you use that for that month. And then the next month, the whole purpose would be, so like, let's say you started it now, you would need to take the money out of your savings if you already spent the money that you made in August, or what was last month, June, July. Yeah, July. So any of the money that you made in July, say you spent it and you want to start the budget today, you would take the money out of your savings and put it in your checkings, and then let the money, then pay your bills, right? And then for the following August, you let that money come in. And then on September 1st, you'll start paying your bills with the money that you made in August. So you'll always be 1 month ahead. So you're using August bills to pay September's bill, or you're using August's money that you made, income, to pay September's bills. And then you're using the money that you make in September to pay October's bills. And then you're taking the money that's in the money you make I'm losing track, but like the money that you make in October, you're going to let it sit all of October and just accumulate. And then on November 1st, you're going to pay all your bills with the October income. Does that make sense? The 1 month ahead and getting started with it. Does that answer both of your questions? Yes. Okay. Yeah. So you're basically, yeah. So you want to be ahead 1 month ahead at all times. So now if you think about it, if you ever come to a point where you get fired from your job or you lose your job, whatever happens, you quit, whatever, you have your 3 months in your savings, but then you also have that 1 month that's been sitting there. So technically you're 4 months ahead. and you got 4 months worth of savings to live off of and figure it out. So you're just building a bigger and bigger cushion for yourself. You guys good? Any more questions? Okay, cool. All right, awesome. This was much more enjoyable. I see you guys are liking it. I was wondering if people were going to enjoy it or not. Cool. All right. Well, if you guys don't have any questions, you can DM me in the chat, DM me through just whatever, or just on the Discord. If you have questions, you can DM me personally if you need help with the budget. I'd be more than happy to help. But yeah, this is how you can build your own wealth. I've been doing it for years. Yep, it is a very important topic. I would venture to say it's more important than trading because not everybody's, it's more important for people, everyday people, right? If people aren't going to trade, they can still leave this group and use this going forward. So that's kind of my idea behind it. But yeah, I will get this recording posted, uploaded, and then you guys will have this and we'll move on from there. And next week we'll get started with the investment property guy, and then we'll get into the tax guy. I don't know what order we haven't decided yet. I know the tax one is going to be on August 18th, that Sunday. And then next week is kind of open for either the mortgage guys or the other ones. Yes, I'm going to post this template. I'm going to clear it off after we get off on here. And then I'm going to go ahead and post it in the OT education tab so you guys can use it. So yeah. All right. Well, do you guys, I'll ask one more time. Do you guys have any more questions? Question, kind of personal. I could text you about it in the Discord if you're not trying to answer now. Just send it to me. It doesn't need to be public, so go ahead and just DM it to me and I can answer for you. No problem. So yeah, no problem. Any other questions or good? Cool. All right, you guys good. All right. Well, thank you for coming. I hope this helps you. Let me know if you need any help getting through this and working on it, and we'll go from there. Thank you guys for coming.